The next video I'm gonna make is the skirt pattern, and it's this one. And it's gonna be very straightforward because the instructions are short. So I'm gonna draw the waist length first, and my waist length will be 20. Zero to 1 is from your waist to your desired length. It could be as short as on your thigh, it could be as short as your knee, it could be as long as your ankle, but 0 to 1 is your waist to your desired length. And then 0 to 2 would be your hip circumference. Okay? Take the tape around your body, around your hip, and that's what you're gonna get, your hip circumference. You're gonna divide that by 2. Whatever you get, add 10 centimeters to that. So my 0 to 2 is 21 and a half. Plus 10 centimeters. Now, it doesn't have to be 10, you could use 5, but I'm adding 10 just in case, because I'd rather have the space and not need it than need it and not have it. 2. So on this side, I'm going to go down by 1.5 centimeters. I'm going to go down by 1 centimeter, and I'm going to call that 4. The next measurement you're going to take is your waist to your hip length. So you take a tape measure and put it on your waist, right on the side, and then measure onto your hip. Okay. So 4 to 5 is waist to hip length. Mine is 10 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is draw a line so that I can differentiate between the front and the back. So what I have here in total is 25 and a half. I'm going to divide that in 2. And that would be 12 and 12 and a quarter, actually. And I'm going to call this 6. The next thing I'm going to do is measure 4 to 5. What I have here is 10 inches. So I'm going to divide that in 2, which is 5, which is going to give me 5. So I'm going to label this 7 and 8. You're going to measure the circumference of your waist and divide that by 4. So for example, if the circumference of your waist is 30 inches, divided by 4 would be 7.5 inches. 0 to 9 would be 7.5 inches plus 4.6 centimeters. And that would be right here. 6. And I'm going to call that 9. And I'm going to do the same thing here. 7.5 inches plus 4 centimeters here. Okay, the back has an extra 4.6 centimeters and the front has just 4 centimeters. I will draw my line to connect 3 to 9 and 4 to 10. For this next measurement, you're going to take a tape around your hip and divide that by 4. So your hip circumference divided by 4, that's how we're going to get 8 to 11. And it's going to be 10 and 3/4 minus 0.8 centimeters. And I'm going to call that 11. Minus 1 centimeter. Okay, this one right here. This one right here is 11. I'll connect 9, 11 to 6, 10, 12 to 6. At the beginning of the video, when I took this measurement, I added 10 centimeters to it, but I was only supposed to add 5 centimeters to it. So I will go down this line and take out 2.5 centimeters. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this gap right here. So the next step is to measure 3 to 9 and 4 to 10. So right here is 9.5 inches. I'm gonna write that down. And then right here is 9 inches. I'm gonna write that down, that's 9. And that's gonna be 18.5, right? I think. So after calculating that, I'm gonna subtract this number from my total half waist measurement. So remember that your waist measurement, for example, is 30 inches divided by 2 would be 15 inches. So I'm gonna subtract that 15 from this number, which would give us 3.5, right? The reason the number on top is higher than the number underneath is because we added this extra 4.6 and 4 centimeters, and that's why this is higher than this. So out of this 3.5, I'm gonna assign a lot more to the back darts than I am to the front darts. And the reason I'm doing this is because the glute area is a lot more hollow than the front area, so it's gonna need a lot more darts in the back than it is in the front. I have 3.5 inches here. I could allocate 2 inches to the back and 1.5 inches to the front. And then I'm gonna leave 2 centimeters between the first and the second dart. 2.5 centimeters actually. Then I'm gonna measure 1 inch from that mark right here, and I'm gonna find the center point of that mark right here. I'm gonna draw a straight line down, going 1.5 inches below my top hip line. Yeah. Then I'm going to draw the dart, the remaining dart legs. Okay, so now when you measure it, this is 1.5 plus 1 plus 1, which makes it 1 to 3.5, and that is how we allocate this difference right here onto the darts. Draw the new waistline so that it curves like this. Draw my waistline so that 4 touches 3. And we're gonna get rid of 2 and 0. Okay, so I'm gonna combine my top bodice with my skirt, and I'm gonna make it into a dress. I'm only stopping at the top hip line. I'm not going past this point. But you can go past that point if you want to do that. So what I have done is I have traced out everything I need to trace out on the front and back, top and skirt as well. With this skirt, the skirt is a lot smaller at the waistline than the top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to draw a new hip line right here. And this is where my waist stops. So I'm just going to draw that new hip line, and I'm just taking it down to this point right here. So that's going to be the new hip line. For my darts, I will use my awl to transfer the points right here. And I'm going to draw this line right here, and right here. So what I'm doing here is I'm combining these two darts right here, the skirt darts, I'm combining it into one. So a combination of 1, 2. So these two darts, when you add it together, it's 2 inches, and right here at the top it's 2 inches as well. So that's going to be perfect. So this is where my dart is going to be as well. I'm going to draw a dot right here. Put this hole through right here, flip it around, find the hole, dot. And I'll transfer this right here and right here. And then this one, I'm gonna go through this hole and right here. Okay. Make sure that the waistline in the front matches the waistline in the back. So now I'm going to draw a new hip line from this point right here, and I'm going to take it down to this point like that. Also, you want to make sure that your shoulder line for the back and the front are exactly the same thing. So the back armhole darts from here to here is 4 inches. I'm going to make sure that this matches this. So here to here, they match. It's 4 inches as well. Okay. So for this one, here to here is 3 inches. I'm going to try and make sure that matches here as well. So here to here. So there's a lot more here actually. There's a lot more in the front than there is in the back. So I'm just going to try and mark that. Then I'm going to use my curve ruler to sort of just like take some of that out. So that's going to be my new neckline. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back as well. That is the end of that tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I will try to use more of this pattern to create whatever I need to create in the future. Bye guys!